आज जिस फंड के बारे में हम डिस्कस करेंगे, वो वन ऑफ द टॉप परफॉर्मिंग फंड्स फॉर दिस ईयर है। फंड का नाम है जेएम वैल्यू फंड। नाम से ही शायद क्लियर है, ये जो अंडर वैल्यूड फंड स्टॉक्स हैं, कंपनीज़ हैं, वहाँ पे ये इन्वेस्ट करता है। अगर हम रिटर्न की बात करें, अगर आप रिटर्न पे फोकस करें, तो हम देखेंगे यहाँ पे कि अगर आप ₹10,000 इन्वेस्ट करते हैं सिंस इंसेप्शन ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर फंड, आप देखेंगे कि दैट 10,000 वुड हैव बिकम ₹54,203, मोटा-मोटा 54,000 के आस-पास। जबकि जो अगर आप इसके इंडेक्स में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, इस कैटेगरी इंडेक्स में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, तो इसका आपका रिटर्न आता है लगभग 40,000 के आस-पास, राइट? और जो एवरेज कैटेगरी रिटर्न है वो है 45,000 के आस-पास। सो इस फंड ने इंडेक्स प्लस इसकी कैटेगरी दोनों को ही कहीं न कहीं पे आउट परफॉर्म किया है। अगर आप इस चीज़ को देखें कि यहाँ पे देखिए मैनेजर चेंजेस हैं, तो कंसिस्टेंसी बहुत है, मतलब यहाँ पे मैनेजर चेंज बहुत फ्रीक्वेंट नहीं है। एक 2020-21 के बीच में पार्शियल चेंज हुआ है और एक 22 के लास्ट में एक पार्शियल चेंज हुआ है। इसके अलावा मैनेजर चेंज उतना कुछ है नहीं। दूसरी चीज़ देखिए, जब भी इन्वेस्टमेंट डिटेल्स आपको नेट पे ये चीज़ें मिल जाएँगी डेफिनिटली कि मिनिमम आप ₹1000 से यहाँ पे स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं और एग्ज़िट लोड 1% है अगर आप रिडेम्पशन करते हैं विदिन 1 महीने के अंदर। जो इम्पोर्टेंट मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ वो ये है, देखिए, अगर मैं एक्सपेंसेस की बात करूँ, इस फंड का एक्सपेंस है 1.8%। ये मैं रेगुलर की बात कर रहा हूँ। अगर आप डायरेक्ट की बात करें तो मोस्ट प्रोबेबली ये 0.8-0.7% कम होगा, राइट? टर्नओवर ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है। टर्नओवर इज़ 93.2%। 93.2% इज़ कंसिडर्ड प्रीटी हाई। 93.2% इज़ कंसिडर्ड प्रीटी हाई। नाउ व्हेन इट कम्स टू एसेट एलोकेशन, अगर आप एसेट एलोकेशन देखें, तो क्योंकि वैल्यू फंड है, तो इट इज़ हाइली इन्वेस्टेड इनटू इक्विटीज़। 98.87% of the assets of the fund is allocated into equities, and the remaining 1.13% is in cash. When it comes to factor profile, if you see the style of investment, it is moderately towards the growth phase. Whereas if you see the quality of funds, it's above average, right? The size, liquidity, and volatility are also below average of this particular fund, right? Now, when it comes to the risk analysis, as you can see, this fund has a mean return of 30.52%, whereas the category average is 26.76, right? The Sharpe ratio, we'll talk about this later. The Sharpe ratio is 1.76, whereas the average of the category is 1.57, right? The alpha is 10.17, whereas the category's alpha is 6.77, right? Now, when it comes to the exposure, this particular fund is highly exposed in these four sectors. Which are those sectors? Sectors are industrial, financial services, consumer cyclical, and technology, right? And if you can see, the category percentages are also mentioned in this particular slide. So you can tally these basically investment allocations. How much beyond the category average has the fund manager invested into these sectors? When it comes to the top 10 holdings, the fund invests in ITC Limited, has a 3.82% portfolio weightage, REC Limited, Larsen and Toubro, and NTPC Limited. These are the top four holdings of this particular fund. As you can see in this particular slide, that the top 10 holdings are as shown in the particular slide, right? Now, very important when it comes to upside and downside capture ratios. This particular fund has an excellent upside ratio, that is 112 as compared to 99 when of the average. But when it comes to downside, it has fared badly against the category. The category's percent is 79%, whereas this fund's downside capture ratio is 66%. The maximum drawdown duration of this particular fund has been 8 months, that is November 1st, 2021 to June 30, 2022. The maximum drawdown has been minus 12.35%, whereas the category drawdown has been 10.38%. The fund has total of 51 stocks, and the top three sectors occupy 36.22% of the allocation, and the top 10 stocks occupy 32%. So it's not very much means top heavy kind of a portfolio, right? The fund managers are, as you can see, the names are also mentioned here. The fund is managed by these three fund managers. You'll find many funds, whereas the fund is managed by a single fund manager, but this fund has been managed since 2013 by these three fund managers. Yes, there has been a partial changes in the fund managers portfolio, but overall it has remained the same, right? Now, when it comes to our analysis, when it comes to MoneyQuest's analysis, see, the parent organization of this particular fund, that is JM Financials, they are an industry standard because they have a high reputation of giving risk-adjusted returns, right? But if you see that the portfolio manager retention rate of this particular fund or fund house has been pretty low. The fund beats the index, that is BSE 500 index, by an annualized 5.2% if you compare this on a 10-year trading period. Now the fund has a higher Sharpe ratio. I have already told you what it means. Sharpe index is basically it's a measure of the risk adjusted return. We all talk about return, but you should ask your advisor what is the risk adjusted return that the fund is generating. See, all of us talk about return, but very few of us talk about risk adjusted return, right? So the risk adjusted return has is a higher over the 10-year trading period. So our rating is neutral on this particular fund because yes, the parent organization has given great risk adjusted returns, but the average kind of average fund manager retention ratio has propelled us, kind of has forced us to give a neutral rating to this particular fund. So I hope this particular analysis would have been helpful to you all. If you are thinking of investing in a fund which has shown a great 1 year return, so you should do a fundamental study of that particular fund before investing. So in the next session, we'll be bringing you analysis of a different fund, and I hope you'll enjoy that particular fund. Thank you so much.